Alright guys, this is Fridays with xhu98, number 42, and in a couple of minutes, we shall be ready. Still waiting for people to join the stream. It should be on, if I am correct. And, let me just see here. I will mute myself. Yeah. So let me say hello to people in the Twitch chat. Hey guys. Yeah, and tonight tonight's gonna be a really fun episode. Let's see here. So how's everyone doing? It's another Friday, and finally I'm doing a show on on actually a proper Friday. Um, this is because I don't have classes on a Saturday. It's tomorrow. For some reason, I've had a lot of Saturday classes this term, and it's kind of stressful. But we all are. So it's great to see you guys here, as usual. And yeah, if only we can get a banner. Yeah. So let's see. Uh, where are we? Alrighty, more people are joining. And, well, just before we start, this is going to be released on YouTube as usual. And I also have my forum thread. This is on forums.onlinego.com. If you go to the forum, it will just be right there with an archive of all the previous episodes. I'll also be updating my website repository and uploading the SGF files, so I'll do that tonight. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a night. If you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, feel free to do so. It's called the Nova League because of the league I host. So if you could show your support, that would be very appreciated. I've gained an incredible amount of positive feedback from you guys over the past 41 weeks in a row. It's honestly kind of unbelievable that I've been doing this long. Like, I've been doing one thing every single week. And I'm here for the 42nd episode. So, without further ado, we have a guest with us tonight, Sejanus, and let's welcome him to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
Oh, things are pretty good. How are yourself?
Yeah, just having a lot of schoolwork, trying to get better at Go at the same time.
You've made it to like 5Q right now, right?
What?
You're around there? You've made it to like 5Q now, right?
Well, I'm trying to get. I'm still trying to get better.
Of course, yeah.
I am on a losing streak in terms of 9x9, but I hope I'll finally get to win some games. It's difficult because
if you play against me, you'll win. So there you go. If you want to win at least a couple tonight, we can play and you can beat me.
Sure. We can play it sometime. That'd be lots of fun actually. And
Well, fun for you.
I guess Go is fun for everyone.
No,
but...
it would be fun. I mean, 9x9 for me. I mean, it's good for fighting practice and various things like that.
Yeah.
I don't do it a huge amount anymore, but I probably should because I'm certainly not one to talk about strength. So there you
go. Yeah, 9x9 requires a lot. Actually, you just can't make mistakes. You make one mistake and it's over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So let's try this. So here I am. You can see the sunset behind me. Yeah. So thanks for coming. And I was just testing out stuff earlier, and if you guys can hear me loud enough, or I guess Sejanus loud enough, just let me know in the Twitch chat, because we'll be reading the comments. So feel free to write anything into the chat, and we'll try to answer questions. We'll check the chat regularly. So yeah, your voice is heard. And I do want this to be a conversational environment. I never call my shows like lectures because it's not just me; it's all about you guys. Yeah. So hopefully this is gonna be a lot of fun. And
I will do my best.
Yeah, you'll be great. And let me just close this actually. So today we'll be doing something a little bit different from what we usually do on my shows. I actually just came up with this idea about like 20 minutes ago, and I decided that maybe we should look at some of the puzzles. And in case you guys don't know, there's a puzzle section on OGS. It actually is packed with great puzzles. I am not only promoting my own puzzles, but also like others, because they're just great. People spend their free time, they put those problems up just for others to, work through them and experience the fun and challenge of solving puzzles. And I am personally an avid fan of solving puzzles, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's ever made puzzles or like given feedback. Every single bit of your input will count, and I really mean that, since we're the only server with this like puzzle section. So yeah, I have personally enjoyed this a lot. I haven't been publishing puzzles for a very, very long time, unfortunately, because I'm quite occupied with other things at the moment. But yeah, we're gonna be having lots of fun doing puzzles tonight. So
which one are we going to start with? You said 141, right?
Yeah, 141. So
okay.
In case you want a quick link, that's online-go.com/puzzle/831.
No, there it is.
And all right, I'm gonna be giving you guys a bit to look at the puzzles. This is the collection is France's library. It is a library contributed by Françisa. He's been a great guy, and I love him, and he's been creating the best puzzle collection on OGS so far, and there are hundreds of problems, and you can just walk through them. Basically, you can start from puzzle number 1 and work your way through. It's a great way to learn the basics, and as the problems get more challenging, there will just be lots of fun solving every one of them, I guess, because I like conquering problems, and when I get to solve them, using my own wisdom, is great. So yeah. So So pardon me as I go grab some water, because I will be talking lots, both of us, I guess.
I've got my water.
I'll be right. Yeah, but you can't teleport water to me.
They
That'd
haven't
be great.
figured that part out yet.
What?
They haven't figured that part out yet.
It would be great if we can teleport stuff.
I give them a couple years; they'll figure it out.
The Californian drought would just be solved like right away.
Apparently, there's a pipeline. The pipeline will solve everything.
We just like, yeah, we just pour water from Colorado or something. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna be right back. So, so in case you guys don't know, this is puzzle 141, like I said earlier, and we're gonna be starting from there. So, see you guys in a minute.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
So we already have a question in the chat. A chat question, which we'll probably get to as we do the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The question from Nomad Farmer: Is there a non-co answer to this puzzle?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know your thoughts, because how would you solve this puzzle?
I've actually solved this one. The next one's the one that stumped me, but I had to look at this one, and my first thought was that it is a co. There's no other way around it. So now my window is different than yours because it switches it around, but you would be playing in this case at C13, I believe.
Oh yeah. So actually, you know what's a way to switch to my view. So so if you can see like the little gear icon on the right.
Yeah, I see it.
Just like click on it, and
oh, I see. Randomly transform puzzles and swap colors. Just turn those off.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, I'll be refreshing too.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I now have your view. Yeah. So
this is like, well, I turned those off and then refreshed, and now I see the original view. So it's basically we are.
There we go. Yeah, we match now.
Yeah, so it's like black trying to kill white.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, C13 is the answer.
Alrighty. Hold on a second. Yep. So C13.
And then capture at B12,
capture?
and that's it.
Sounds good to me. And yeah. So the question is there a non-co solution to this one? My answer would be no, because if you go back, so white already has an eye at like the A11 area. So you're not gonna take that eye away from white, which means you have to break the second eye on the top, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
because if you were to play A11 as black, white would be able to take any stones you play there, and there's nothing else you can do because they create an eye at B13 anyway.
yeah. So well, I guess if sorry, I just noticed the spider on the wall. I have to kill it. I'm really sorry. 1 second.
Yeah, and Nomad Farmer is saying that he didn't think there was another answer, but normally Fran's library is do such and such without co. So I guess this is in this case because this is a 10Q problem.
So good now.
For life problems.
R.I.P. Spider-Man. Alright, so my answer to the question is this. If black plays at B13, white will just live at C13, and as you can see, that would be unconditional.
Yeah.
So there's no such non-co answer to this one.
Yeah, it's co, and that's the end of it, basically.
Yeah, so... Alright, so does that sound good? Does it sound good to everyone? We're going to be walking through quite a few questions tonight.
And trust me, after this, I probably won't get many of them. So here we go, fun times.
I've never looked at these puzzles like before this show, so it'll be a fresh.
I know I went through a bunch of them months ago, but I don't remember where I stopped. So I basically just started doing a bunch until I couldn't do them quickly. And I figured that's probably a good place to start. So that's kind of why we're in this area here.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to be going to the next one, or are we jumping? I can't remember which.
Yeah, we're going to be going to the next one.
Okay. So 142.
142. Black deformed life. That's interesting.
And this one's also rated at 10Q.
So,
according to the difficulty.
So, what comes up when you see this problem? Like, what is the first move that pops?
Let's see here. Trying to connect the groups is probably important. I mean, they're sort of connected as is, because the white group at B12 and B13, I think, made a solution for this. Black obviously has one eye pretty much guaranteed. It's getting the second one, which is, I think, where that second group comes in. I think that's probably where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
Is you need to basically split that, kill it, and then you get your second eye there.
Exactly.
So my first thought would be to play C13. Then, according to the puzzle, white plays at A11. Black takes at A13. And then black takes at B13. And apparently I'm wrong. So there you go. That is not correct. So there you go. So
yeah,
my first inclination is incorrect.
Yeah, so actually, after white B12, black is kind of facing a very difficult situation here. Because if he captures at B13, like as you said, white is just going to connect at A10, and black will be dead.
Yeah.
But black cannot capture at A10 because white would just capture at A11. That would be in some sense even worse. So, we basically came to the conclusion that C13 is not going to work.
No, C13's wrong. Well, through a process of elimination, A13 is obviously wrong right away because white just immediately captures. Orbix19 in the chat has suggested A11.
A11?
Yeah, so if you play A11...
I guess it's the only option we have left, really.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because it has to be with that group. Because
A10 will just be suicidal. White will just capture at A11 right away.
Yep.
So, well, there's the process of elimination, and then again, there's this proverb: "What is a good move for your opponent is also good for you."
Yeah.
So, as you can see, like no matter what you play, like if you play at C13 or like A13 or A10, white will just play at A11. So why don't we try that out, right?
Yeah. Orbix also says basically a sacrifice. And Nomad Farmer is saying sacrificing stones like this is called under the stone Tetsuji.
Yeah.
So I think basically part of the solution is basically you have to give up something to start with and then make eyes that way.
Right. So this is sort of like a technique in Go. As you can see, the 4 black stones only have 1 liberty.
Yeah, so A13 automatically you can't because it's death right away. You can't do that. So basically, I think the only play after that is C13.
Yeah.
Then black is captured, and now it's your job to make eyes again. So after that, you're looking at okay, A11's out because then white connects.
Right.
And you can't do that. So the only move really is B11 at that point.
Exactly.
And then at that point, it's done because if white plays at A12, you can't do anything about it because they're dead stones.
They're captured, right?
Yeah, they're captured either way. There's no move that white can do here to save those 3 stones in the corner. So problem solved.
Yeah. So and if white plays at A11, black would just capture at A12. And interestingly, so black has sacrificed 4 stones first, but he has come back with a capture, which basically kills 3 white stones and forms an eye in the corner and like out of nowhere, right? Basically, after black A12, he's alive because if white throws in at B12, black will just capture at B13. Right, as you can see, A13 is a valid eye. And if white plays at B13, black connects at B12, that would be also a valid eye. So this technique here is called snapback. Yeah. So and I think that's a very important strategy.
Well, I can say personally from my strength level, it's one of those weird concepts where anyone kind of around my level is trying so much to save all of their stones. And you can't save all of them because sometimes you have to give one up and then you can just snap back right away and all of a sudden you get a much better result that way. But I know that was something very hard for me to realize when I first started, that if I try to save everything, typically stuff dies. But if I give stuff up, I can typically get a better result. Or not typically, but sometimes.
Yeah, or sometimes you can get the whole group back, sometimes you can get half of it, right? But
yeah,
I guess this idea of sacrificing and just like viewing the board as a whole is really important. And as your level goes up, it will become like gradually more of an awareness, I guess.
Kind of becomes second nature. Okay, so...
Yeah, so that's a good problem. Let's look at the next one.
Okay, next one.
Ooh, black to kill white.
Black to kill white.
And the hint here is to use the method of elimination.
Yeah, so... C12 will not... Actually, let me see here. Let's look at this for a second. Let's see here. Okay, so if you play at B13, white's automatically going to take at C13, which then gives it an eye at C12, and then white could, in theory, then play at A13 and make 2 eyes if it had a free move.
Yeah, but
in this case, it doesn't.
Well, white doesn't have to, right? Because A13 is enclosed.
Yeah.
And black's not going to throw in anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that B13 is eliminated. And what about C12?
C12, let me go. C12 automatically white takes at C13.
Correct.
You obviously cannot play at B13 because it's a suicide, and you can't play at C12 because it's a suicide. So white's alive, basically.
Yeah, so... all right, what do we have left?
Basically, at that point, it is going to be C13. And then white plays, and then capture at b13.
There we go.
There we go.
That's a nice little problem there.
That's a neat one. There's not a lot of choice, but it seems counterintuitive to start. That one's actually only a 20Q, so that one's not as hard.
So yeah, I think this method of elimination is sometimes just like the fundamental approach to, reading stuff in the game. Because like when there are a lot of variations, you just basically eliminate the most impossible ones, right? And then you're left with only a few like reasonable choices, and then you eliminate a few more from your list of choices, I guess. So what ends up what ends up being your move is just basically the choice of choices and using the method of elimination.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at 144. Oh, that one's a classic.
And pretty easy when you look at it. These for both groups, but it's already got the separation there for black. Basically the key for this one is you have to make sure that you don't automatically lose that stone at C12.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose that stone at C12, there's nothing you can do. So it's only got one liberty left, so you give it another liberty at C13, and there's nothing white can do.
Exactly.
Because basically any move that white makes is automatically losing an extra liberty, basically. I mean, B13 or or A13 are both basically dead moves right off the bat, because it only gives one liberty to that group anyway.
So is D13.
Yeah, and same with D13. E13 gives an extra liberty, but it doesn't matter anyway, because there's nothing you can do about it. So
and I think this is like one cool Tsuji to know. I remember just like being stunned by this when I started learning Go. I was like, wow, now white is basically paralyzed. He can't do anything.
That's I'm assuming probably in some sort of sequence before this, black made a cut.
Yeah. So, for example, black can make a cut at C12, right? And white would just connect at B12, and that's where the Tsuji comes.
Yeah.
And you might see this pattern in some of the end game exchanges. It doesn't have to be like a life and death situation, but sometimes, if you see a shape like this, you can just play this Tsuji to just like get either side of the deal. So it comes in handy. All right, next problem.
This is what was mentioned earlier about one of those questions where it's solve it but no ko. So no ko. So black has to form life without ko. Well, if black plays at F13, there's one I. So you can pretty much assume that one's okay. Actually, this is a 12Q. Does this one work? And there's one, and then see, my first situation actually got a ko involved, so no, I fail. No ko. Okay, let's see here. Nope, that's not it. No, that's not it. There. Is that really No, that's still the stupid ko. Let me see here. Okay, so working it through, obviously C12 needs to die at some point during this process.
Correct.
And B13 is going to die probably as part of this process as well.
And it needs to die cleanly without co.
Without the co, yeah. So I would assume you're going to want to try to get. You want to get B13 and C12. They're going to stay separated regardless. But you want to avoid. Let's see here. See, my first gut reaction would be to capture right away, but that's going to start the co. So you've got 2 liberties on the group at B12, B11, and C11. If you play at through the method of elimination, A11 is wrong because automatically white just captures. So that cannot be the move. Any move with the group at D13 is just giving up the problem right away, because you can't make an eye there and just expect the rest of it to go, because then the other group dies. So if you can't capture at C12 yet, because that's going to create a co, and if you can't play at A13 because that's going to be a capture anyway, then the only move is A12.
See what happens.
Okay, so A12.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, you can safely capture at C12 because the co is now dead. There's no co at B13 anymore.
Yeah, and this move at A12 is very important because it just kills the possibility of white's possibility of making a co. Because if we look at the previous variations, right? So I mean, if black plays at C13, if he captures, white is going to make a co at A12.
Yep, and at that point, if you capture at A13, you're in co. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like once again. So basically, black just occupied the vital point for white, which is A12. Right, and
basically, rather than let him form the co, you prevent him from forming it ever in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And if white connects at C13 instead of F13, then black can just make an I at F13.
Yeah.
Because that would just be a second I.
Yeah.
And that is one tricky little problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that one, my first 2 choices just got into the co right away, and I was like, oh, that's not good. So, no co. Oh, and the next one is also no co.
And just to explain to everyone watching this, I was having awkward eye contact with the bug in my room, and then I attempted to kill it, but I'm still staring at it.
Oh, and hello to Anumaris, who's now joined the chat. He actually had the correct answer before I did. So, see, I told him he wasn't weak earlier today.
Golden chicken standing on one leg, that's what it's called. This is one of the previous problems. So, like the extension.
Oh yeah, from the previous problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensei's library is excellent. Okay, so problem number 146. Black to kill white without co.
This is a good one to know.
Well, this is 12Q again, so let's see here. This one seems easy according to Enumaris. So this is going to be he misread it. There he goes. I was like, yes, this is where my 16Q is showing. Let's see here. Okay. Nomad Farmer, do I read without clicking? Yes, I try to read without clicking. And then I test my theory by clicking, and then I fail miserably and try again. That's basically how I'm doing it.
Yeah, this is pretty much like when you're playing a game on a real board, you can't just like put stones right? To like test your variations out. You just have to
Yeah.
like stare at you just stare at the shape and then just like make your decision and just like make that one move. Just like place it right there.
Yeah. So the big thing here is black needs to kill, but also prevent two eyes. Because white basically has one eye almost guaranteed just by playing at B12. There's an eye there, and that actually makes both eyes there. So, let's see here. How is this one gonna work? Da, 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 da. How are we gonna do this one?
I think one of the strategies actually is to find just like one easy point for your opponent to live, right?
Yeah.
Like we said before, what is good for your opponent is usually good for you as well. So
Yeah.
we can try that.
Oh, okay. I think I see it. Okay, so I was talking earlier about making eyes for white, so we want to make sure he can't make eyes. So, through the process of elimination, D13, C12, and A11 are all out because they're automatic captures for white.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't play those. So it comes down to actually A13 is also an automatic capture, so you can't do that one.
Yeah.
B12 doesn't really do anything because it doesn't prevent the eyes. So the first move would be B13.
Right.
White connects at B12.
Mm-hmm.
Well, C12 you can't because it's suicide right away.
Uh-huh.
A13 is suicide. D13 and A11 are not good options because they're automatic captures. So either A10 or E13. I'm not sure if it matters. I think it's okay with both, isn't it? Is it?
So what if you play at A10?
A10. Well, the system says I'm wrong, so that's always a good start.
Because
what
if? Because I mean, like
that actually makes eyes right away because white can play at E13 and make an eye, and then you're dead anyway.
Well, if white plays at E13, then black can Atari at F13, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And if white, the thing is like white cannot connect at D13.
Yeah.
Otherwise, black will just capture.
Yeah.
So, if we follow that version, so white can basically only capture at A13, and it would be a ko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what if white can just capture at A13 in this case if black plays at A10?
Yeah.
And he'll be alive, right?
And then there's eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we basically hinted at the correct way to kill, because I said white couldn't connect at
Actually, I see it now. I see it.
Right?
It's B13. That was right, and then extended E13, and then white's dead because the next move at that point he couldn't play anywhere else other than the capture because then it would just automatically be basically suicide. Mm-hmm. So E13, then D13, and then white's dead.
White's dead.
White's dead. There we go.
Yeah. So that's the process. I guess that's the way of thinking. Like, how do I sort this problem out? I have a lot of options at first. There's like a lot of space. I eliminate the most like basic ones, and then I just like come down to like one or two options, right?
Yeah. Well, the most helpful.
Yeah.
For something like this is
and just narrow it down to like it's like smaller problems. Like after white plays at B12, right? Because you just have fewer options, so you only need to look at like A10 or like E13 really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically that's a good reading exercise actually.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I like that one.
All right, let's look at 147. Ha! So
This is
one,
basically the same thing. Just there's no co-restriction.
which means there has to be a co.
Which I think Enumaris made it earlier. I think this is the one where he had a solution, but it was co. I think that's basically the same one here. White has an extra stone this time at E13 already, but I think the solution is basically the same. So B13, F13 captures, and then you capture E matter.
There you go. So, black plays at F13, white can only capture at A13. Black captures at D13 to make a co. And that's what we're
basically at that point. And then you're at a co for life, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's basically the exact same one, just with a different twist on it. But that's good. I like that one.
Very similar to the previous one. So we have a new one here. 148. Black to
form life.
Oh, and you notice that this is sort of similar to the previous one, but not really, right? So
yeah, I mean, when you look at this situation, I think the first thing that somebody that hasn't played for a long time is going to think that the stone at A10 has to be saved.
Right.
But it's already dead. There's nothing you can do about it.
So if black captures at A12, does the shape look familiar to you?
Gee, it looks awfully similar to the one we just did.
Right? So yeah, that's
so basically
that would be good for black.
No, that's not so good. So basically, if you try to capture, you're in that situation, you're dead. If you try to extend at A9, there's already a stone at B8 that's basically going to kill you wherever you go. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing you can do there. So I basically just focus on making eyes. So B12, you've got an eye, and then just basically you extend at that point at A12, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because white cannot follow at A12 because black would just capture at A13.
Yeah.
So. That's a nice little one right there.
Yeah. So we're in a series now. We've had this weird co-problem like
we're on a roll.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, black to form life again on
black to form
149.
149.
How's the chat doing over here? That's why we practice. Yep, practice is important. And Enumaris misread the question. What the question was asking.
That's okay. I guess.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, you read it once, and then the system yells at you, and then you read it again and go, "Oh, that's what it was."
Your solution is incorrect.
Your solution. Yeah, it's so mean when it says it. It's like, no, you're just wrong.
Nope.
No. Okay, so black to form life. So let's see here. White already has a key point stone at B12 because that's preventing an eye right away.
That's it's like basically stabbing black.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the next moment, he's threatening the Atari at C12, which will demolish black, basically.
So, and it doesn't say without Co. That's a good point, no man. Co is perfectly fine here. Everyone likes Co. Let's see here. I can see one eye right away. I think it's the second eye that's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
So
I guess one easy thing to see would be like E12, right?
Yeah.
Because that way you just like form an eye at D13.
Yep, but the problem is you lose the group at C11 and B11 because he just Ataris and takes.
Exactly.
So you can't do that one. So I think the first course of action is to connect all these stones together so they have more liberties.
All right,
So
let's try that.
that's C12.
White, realizing that black is trying to live,
Yep, so he
blocks it.
cuts there too. So black has one eye for sure. That's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second eye that we need to find. Where is the second eye going to be? Okay, I've got... No, that's one eye. Oh, somebody says I'm like 18K. Yeah, they're not wrong. Who is that? Who's
What?
that? Who's besmirching my good name at 16Q? Let's see here. I only saw the red text. I'm not reading chat because I don't want the answer, but somebody says I'm only like 18K. So there you go.
Don't spoil it, guys.
This is a 12K problem though, so I'm still good either way.
Yeah. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure. No, I actually maybe there's no way to make that one work. I think if you connect those two groups together, there's no way to make a second eye, is there?
Right, because if you play at A12, white would just basically play at B13, right?
Yeah, and then
you only have one eye, even if you capture those two stones.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If you play at B13, white plays at A12.
Yeah.
So, this doesn't quite work here.
No, it doesn't, does it?
But I guess at some point, you're going to be wanting to get E12, right? It's kind of hard to make two eyes in the very corner, but you have a chance to make...
Okay, so, okay, I see it. I see it.
There you go.
Was completely... So, Fia is quite correct. I'm only 18K. Okay, so, basically, through the process of elimination again, obviously playing at A11 is wrong. Connecting the group together is bad because we're basically actually removing an eye already. B13 is bad. So A12 is the answer for the first part of it. That gives us an eye basically right away.
Because white cannot play a C12, right?
That is correct, because that's obviously going to be a capture right away. And then our liberty situation's pretty good, but we need to get more room, so we extend it E12, and then we make our second eye at E13, and then everything's hunky-dory and we're fine.
There we go.
Hey, there you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Well,
okay. Now let me read the chat and see how long ago they got this. So there's the 18K comment with Kappa, which means you know that they're lying. Kappa makes everything okay. Nomad is commenting on the delay with... I'm not reading chat. And Maris is making some sort of joke I don't understand, which is fine. Apparently Nomad's not in charge, which also is fine. Everything's good. Okay, we're caught
up. I'm asking people in chat a question. So, as you can see in this problem, white initially played at B12, right? What should white do to... Because, like, initially, white played at B12, which led to black's life through this sequence, right? So that's sort of like a challenge, a little, like, challenge question to give them a little bit of time to think about.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that answer. I don't know.
Yeah, this is, like, a little bit more complicated, but we'll talk about this. Just to give them a puzzle, Yeah, so this is
They can
actually...
make fun of me in chat for not.
What's that?
They can make fun of me in chat for not knowing the answer.
Actually, this is a quite common shape, if you think about it, right? So you have B11, you have C11, you have D12. And I can promise that you're going to be seeing a heck of a lot of that structure in the future.
Yeah.
And this is going to help you.
That's good.
So basically, I think as experience builds up, you get to see like more fundamental shapes. You get to basically like shorten your reasoning time. So like the next time you see this, like you see this for like 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, you'll be like, okay, I know this corner. I can deal with this, right?
Yeah, you know where things kind of play.
Yeah.
Okay, so question number 150.
Here we are.
Oh, this one's 18K. I should get it really easily.
Just get it right away. What?
For those keeping score at home, A13 and C12 are dead moves because they're automatic captures and white lives. You obviously can't play at A11 because it's suicidal. You can't do it. Mm-hmm. Only move is D13. White does whatever white wants, and then you capture at A11.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's nothing with that one. That one's pretty easy. For an 18Q. Haha.
This one is sort of like an easy one to say, like, congratulations, you have reached number 150.
Yeah, congratulations, you've made it halfway through. Although I think this one's kind of nice for one reason, is that this really kind of shows that if you can count your liberties of groups, you can kill things pretty easily. Because I mean, the liberty situation is actually really easy when you look at it. Because there's nothing that white can do with the moves to be able
miserably.
To kill them.
Once again, I killed in the bug. Ugh.
That
Never mind then.
That bug is 5 down. It's just too good for you.
I guess. I'm gonna leave him there. Alright, number 151.
Oh, this is 10Q, and black is to form life.
This looks similar, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? It looks very similar indeed. Only the stones are in different spots now. Does the same thing work though? Yeah, the same thing works. There you go.
Right?
Yeah, so it's the same idea, just with a different direction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So A12, and then basically you just start making eyes as soon as you can at B10, and then A10. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the same one as the one that we had problems with before. It's just a different shape, or it's a different direction with a few different stone placements, but the idea is the same.
Yeah. So you might be seeing this shape in like different orientations and like different colors, but essentially like you get the central idea. So like you should be able to get this problem from what we just did, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that this is like a little bit similar, like the previous problem we did. So if you see like A12, B11, C11, C13, and D12, does that shape look similar? Does that shape look similar to you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so that's kind of sort of like a familiar revisit of what we just did in problems
the problem.
140s.
Yeah. So 152.
152. All right.
Black has to form life.
This one isn't too hard.
No, this one's This one looks like it should. This one looks like it would be hard, but it's really not. Capturing at C13 is a bad idea because you basically remove your eye potential.
Mm-hmm.
B12 doesn't do anything because you're just asking for trouble that way because white's going to encroach and take away the room you need. So D11's a stupid move because it does absolutely nothing. And A13 is useless too, so A12 by process of elimination. And at that point, you capture C13 and you're done.
There we go.
Hey!
That one isn't too hard, is it?
No, that one's pretty good. I like that one.
Simple process of elimination. Oh, okay, we have a similar one.
Is it? Oh, is it? Oh, geez. Here we go again.
153.
153. Which means this one's clearly is going to give me fits. Oh no! Isn't this like the same formation just with a different stone missing?
Yeah.
So basically, we're exact same movements. It's A12 and C12 again. Yeah, it's the same thing.
A12, white plays at A11, black captures.
Yep, and there you go.
Nice.
Let's have a look at the chat and see how much they're insulting my confidence levels again. Fia, look who's all confident now. Kappa. Well, that Kappa makes everything better. It's just fine. And MRS, I don't see an unconditional death. Nomad. Having stones at the 2-1-2 points is super common. Okay, I'll keep that one in mind. And A12 makes a Ko. See, Ko's good. I like. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Oh yeah.
They're answering your question that I can't answer.
yeah. So, Maurice is actually correct. So we'll talk about that one later. But yeah. Anyways,
And he was all worried earlier that he was too tired after playing so many games.
yeah. Does this look fun to you?
The next one? Oh, geez. Black Deform Life. Am I missing something? This one seems easy.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay. B12, Threaten Atari. A11, and you're done.
B12. Are we looking at problem 154?
Yeah. Oh, did I say the wrong number? B13 threatens Atari at B12.
Okay. I thought B12 was taken.
Yeah, so B13 and then A11.
Cool. Wow, you solved that one really fast.
Well, it's threaten Atari and they has to go somewhere else. It's captured in their eyes anyway. Mm-hmm. And then it's just one extra move. So that's pretty easy. We're in that same shape again, where I think a lot of these problems, they reinforce the same couple of problems to see if you actually got. Actually, click on the next one. Gee, have we seen this shape before? This looks similar.
Mm-hmm.